when we started at the top, you kind of gave us your list of the multifacetedness, and we had sort of briefly mentioned you being a producer, correct? Or
production coordinator.
Coordinator, right? Yeah. So like that's like heavy lifting in terms of a job. Like you gotta. That's a lot of infrastructure and to be,
Well, not just for any job either, for like Kanye West Sunday service, which is about as big of a project as I can think of in recent times, for sure.
Yeah, one of the most notable, like just projects, like occurrences, happenings in music, right? So I would just love to hear your experience with that, like what you grow and learn. What were the difficulties in the, just trying to, overcome the curveballs and stuff, it's just a lot of.
Right. It was, first of all, it was probably one of the most incredible things I have ever been a part of, not just professionally, but spiritually, and being able to be a part of going to the rehearsals, and seeing the way that this performance and what it really meant, and that it really was like a church, it was really for healing. That's really all that it was, but it was so beautiful to watch. And it was the busiest I've ever been in my life. It was, and a coordination for that is because there's so many people, and then we're doing things outside, right? So all of the natural elements in the world can mess up a performance, right? It can rain, or you know what I mean? The
or the sun's too bright, or too much outside noise. Yeah,
everything could happen, and the permit, and it's just basically like getting every single person, because my job especially was, and this is just how I work, was making sure that everybody was okay, right? Like I was like the mom of the set. Like, are my PAs okay that got there at 3 a.m.? Like, is catering okay? Are the performers okay? Is Ye okay? Is his family okay? Like, is everybody okay? Are the guests okay? You know what I mean? And being responsible for that many, so many emotions, was like really draining, but in a beautiful way. And getting to see how much respect he gave to his chorus and how his choir, and really that it was their show. He didn't really perform much at Sunday service. He was just really there, and the coolest part was most of the time we did it outside, and we'd get there at 3:30 or 4 in the morning to set up, because service is at 8 a.m. And we got to watch the sunrise, and like everyone's about to walk out. And it was, I can't even, like, I can't describe it. Like the coolest meditation that I ever had was probably those mornings, it was like everything's settled down, everything's in place. The guests are there, everyone's happy. And then you see the choir walk out, and it's like just being sunrise, and they perform these songs that are so powerful. And then when it's done, you're like, how am I even here? Like, how am I a part of this? Like, what happened for me to land here? And I always had an incredible experience. I got to see people, I got to go places. But it's hard work. And I do have to say that, like, I could have never handled that type of job if it wasn't for my spiritual level that I'm at today, and also being sober. Like, it just couldn't happen. Like, the amount of detail that goes into being a production coordinator is crazy. And if anything falls through the cracks, like, I'm done, like I'm done. Like, that's it for me.
Yeah. And he's notoriously known for like focusing on like little details. So I'm sure it was definitely an intense like run of anything. And then, but I'm also sure that was like such a crash course for you on like how to run something like this in the future, or like how to get things done in a certain way musically. And like, I'm sure that experience was second to none.
It was absolutely incredible. Like, I learned so much from him, and he was always so kind to me. Me and Ye had a really wonderful relationship, and his attention to detail is so helpful, because now, like, I've always been super organized and kind of OCD in that way, but seeing it from his end and like a production level and what works and what doesn't, and how you may think that that color really doesn't matter, but actually it does. And it changes the entire mood of a performance, you know, or that one note changes the entire mood of a performance. And being able to see that and learn from that, I mean, I'm so blessed from that. You know, it was just absolutely incredible. And people are like, you're working for Sunday service. How did that happen? I'm like, really? I don't know. Like, I don't know how this happened. Like, it just happened. And I can say nothing more than it's, you know, the universe took me there, because I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, that was not me. You know, it was not me. I just ended up there and did the best that I could. You know, it wasn't something I like sought out to do. And I just remember one day I think we were in Chicago, and I was just like, how did I get here? Like, where am I? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? But it was great. Yeah.
That's awesome though. I mean, because it's like so many different levels it hits you with, right? Because it's like on one end, it's like, you know, professionally you're learning, working hard, you know, striving, right, you know, and then on another end, you're like kind of in awe of just like the experience of just, you know, as a guest almost getting to happen to be there
right,
for something so crazy is really awesome, you know?
Yeah. I still look back at it and it kind of just like doesn't seem real, you know, that I was like up at front with it every Sunday for almost a year, you know, like it was just, but it was my job, you know, but then I would like take a step back and be like, no, like this is some history in the making, you know, and
the credits, it'll say, you know, your name right there, production coordinator.
Yeah.
So gotta, you know.
Yeah. Seeing that on the IMAX film, I was like, okay. Okay.
I really was there, right? Like that.
Yeah. I was like, I can
this
do
did happen.
that. Yeah.
So
I was like, that's like, my name.
Musically, were you able to like pick up anything being surrounded by so many, you know, singers and musicians and artists? And like, I don't know if you were too busy to like actually, but I don't know if you just secondhand kind of just soaked up anything musically from the experience.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think like the energy of it, you know, of like, you have to come with like being around like the choir and the way that they loved each other and the way that they worked with one another. I was like, this is the way to like make your music. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're not creating these types of relationships, and also it's a give and take, like whoever my team is, you know, and I'm not courteous and I'm not loving and all of these things. Like I want to be someone that I want to work with. Right. You know, and I know for me, like in like any human, if you're stressed out and you're tired, you're going to get bratty. That's just what happens. But you have to remember that when you're with other people, like your mood affects their mood, and to make sure that even if like people are there for me, like people are there for me, I need to make sure that they're okay. Right. I need to make sure that they have what they need, and kind of just seeing that family dynamic with them, which I have always tried to instill in my life, but it just seeing it happen in such a large scale of them being a family, like that's how I want to be within my music with whoever I'm working with, you know? So that was incredible. And detail matters. Like if that one note, if you really think that it could be better and you just don't want to go back to the studio for the, you know, 100th time, but you know that like when you listen to it in the car a million times and that note is still bothering you, like go fix that note, because that note could be the difference between that song hitting and that song not hitting, because I've seen it, you know, that detail matters.